So, having said that, we are now moving into the stress aspect of the workshop. So, I would like all of you to either unmute, or if it's possible, you can put it in the chat box. I want to know what stress means to you, because everybody has a different meaning of stress. They define stress in a very different way. So, I want to know what is your meaning of stress. So let me start with myself so that you guys can get an idea. So for me, I would say I get stressed whenever there is like a deadline approaching, or I used to get stressed in my college days whenever I had an exam, or just a night before submitting my project. So the feeling of worrying, I would say, excessive overthinking is what is my definition of stress. I don't want like a typical two-liner definition, but any symptoms which you feel are come under the umbrella term of stress according to you. Anyone can go ahead, please. If you want, you can put it in a chat box. I can read it so I can understand what are your concepts about stress. How do you feel?
Prashant is saying whenever any deadline or something that is not in his control makes him stressed.
Yeah. That is quite common for all of us, Prashant.
Tejas is saying for him it is multiple high priority things going on at once is what triggers the stress.
Okay, yeah. That is when you cannot really manage your time, ki what to do first, what not to do, how to prioritize to things. Yeah, that is definitely a stressful situation. Yeah, very true. Anybody else? Aditi, would you like to give your definition of stress?
I think it's managing
Mm-hmm.
your personal ambitions and goals, uh, and then you're managing your family expectations, and somehow it's not always that the environment you're around in is conducive to being the best at everything you choose to be best at. So you're dealing with a lot of things which somehow
Yeah,
lead to that
yeah.
unnecessary stress. So yeah. Jatin is mentioning for him, it is not able to talk to people face to face is stressful. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah. Ohona is
yeah,
saying she gets stressed before deadlines, future
yeah,
exams, and results. Starts overthinking,
yeah,
thinks about everything that can go wrong, feels a lot of pressure.
yeah. Results are something which stress all of us. So yeah, that is a very common. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead. All have a definition of stress, which is in your own terms absolutely correct for all of you, because stress is a very individual concept. It differs from person to person. So for the definition of stress, which is for me, might not be for somebody else right now. So it is very individualistic. I would say that stress, how one defines stress, what are the how we can identify stress, how we can see the changes of stress in our own bodily reactions. So stress usually comes in all the forms, all the three forms, which is physical, emotional, and behavioral. So sometimes people, I'll give my example, because I think people can relate to it. So whenever just an example of somebody said about an exam thing, or the results thing, for that matter. So just before an hour of the exam results, or probably a day before, I start to feel this the racing heart, I would say, which is like a physical symptom. I find it very difficult to concentrate on some any other task which is important, but since I already have it in my mind that I have my results coming in an hour, I am so into that zone that I cannot concentrate on anything else. Some people also feel that their hands and legs are probably cold feet, they get a cold feet, or they have difficulty sleeping, or they become very impatient. They cannot concentrate on one task, so they will just go here and there and do everything but they will not actually be successful in any one task, as I said. So these are some of the bodily reactions which can be seen, which are very very common. At times you can be a combination of all of this. At times it is possible that you might just have the physical symptoms, not the emotional, behavioral, or vice versa. It completely depends from person to person. But the main point of putting these reactions here was to mention this, that this is very very common amongst people to feel this way, or get these kind of physical, emotional and behavioral reactions to the situation. It is very common, but there is a thin line between these and getting even more, the intensity which increases. So if that is the case, you need to approach somebody from the field. But if not, these are very common. But having said that, it does not mean that you should be okay with it. Okay, you need to work on it. We can manage it. I'm not saying that you can bring it to zero or something, but we can definitely work on it and reduce its intensity, because after all, it is human nature to become a bit scared, or become forgetful at such moments of time when stress is there in your life. But yeah, of course, we can definitely alter them. Okay, moving ahead. Yeah, so how can you control reactions? Like, if I am in a situation and oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, if I'm in a situation and um, it is a difficult situation, probably how do I react to that situation? Probably I am in a fight with one of my friends. Now, how, in that moment of time, what are the things which I can do to calm myself? I'm having a big fight with my friend for XYZ reasons, but I don't, how can I calm myself? So at that time, these are like immediate things which you can do, which will help you to calm down. So the first thing, as I've mentioned here, the first thing is you can take deep breaths 3 to 5 times. Of course, if you want, you can do it, you can continue it for a few more minutes also, but usually taking deep breaths calms you down. A few others are like are positive affirmations, which I will give you an idea and explain you in the further slide also. Counting backwards is another thing which most of the people do when they feel very anxious, or when they are very angry about something, or in a difficult situation, they try to count backwards. Counting backwards is a technique which acts as a distractor for you, so it would shift your focus from that tension situation to some other situation. So that is the reason counting backwards also helps. uh, Imagining calm and happy moments also does help you a lot. Now, I am not saying that these four would be helpful for everybody. For me, I think only the counting backwards and taking deep breath helps, because if I am in that situation, I really cannot think of a positive situation at that time. So likewise, it will differ for you also. Probably somebody can just rely on imagining a positive picture and will not be able to concentrate doing the counting backwards thing. So it is very very up to you, that which method suits you the best. So you'll have to try it out and see which one is working for you, and actually go ahead with. Another thing which is not mentioned here, which I wanted to share with all of you, is the color. So there is a lot of importance given to color psychology also. So the colors like blue, green are some colors which helps you soothe down. So they are like calming colors, I would say. So if you are in a situation where you are very very in a panic mode, or you are very very anxious, and you don't know what to do, you're very impatient, try looking at things around you which have that particular color. For example, blue and green, it acts as a soothing method, and it is a proven method in psychology. So try doing that also. So yeah, moving ahead, in case of panic or anxiety, there
Just I
are,
wanted to add a few things on
sorry,
the
yeah,
previous slide, Shruti, if you go
yeah, yeah,
back.
yeah, sure, sure, sure.
So, guys, like taking deep breaths always helps you to think of your response before you actually respond. So, um, in terms of having a panicked response, or let's say somebody abuses you. So instead of immediately like, "Hey, साले तूने मेरे को कैसे abuse कर दिया," and immediately going into that,
Yeah,
like just taking a deep breath helps calm you down in terms of the further response, which is the behavior part that Shruti earlier mentioned. The
yeah,
count 5 4 3 2 1 also helps you in two ways. One is, okay, instead of thinking of the 20 things around a situation, it helps you focus as well. um, Mel Robbins, who's a life coach, talks about 5 4 3 2 1 to help not just with a reaction or a behavior to something, say negative, but also to help you do positive things. For example, in the morning, you want to get up out of your bed and you're feeling sleepy and lazy, and the alarm has just rung, and you're like, oh, I don't want to get up. If you just do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up, Aditi, instantly that helps. So it's a action oriented way of dealing with things, both in the sense of negative and in the sense of positive. The last point's very interesting. I don't know how many of you guys have seen that film Collateral. It's a psychology element that that film employed. It has Tom Cruise in it. In this movie, there is this taxi driver who basically wants to build his limousine taxi business so that he earns enough money and is eventually able to go and live in Hawaii. As you can see that postcard over there, which he puts in that what's that called, that flip flap thing that is right in front of you in the car in your driver's seat. He's kept that Hawaii postcard over there. So let's say some passenger is rude to him or doesn't pay him full money, so instead of getting annoyed and irritated about it, he quickly has a look at his end aim, goal, ambition, and it calms him down, and he is again back on track, and his
Yeah,
reactions are all back on track. So
yeah,
it's very interesting. These things are, like Shruti mentioned, are those ways which can help you with your immediate reactions
yeah,
more than something jahan par, you'll have time to think through and stuff. Here, when you don't have time to think through things, these these four methodologies come handy.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah,
Yes, Tejas, it prevents confrontation as well. The postcard thing, because here, instead of his reaction being a negatory reaction, which would incite rage, anger, etc., he's able to immediately calm himself down and ensure that that situation doesn't arise.
yeah.
Also, imagining things in your head, you don't need a physical picture in front of you, even just transporting yourself mentally helps. And yes, it's absolutely to prevent confrontation.
So yeah, we were talking about in case of panic or anxiety. What are the things which you can do in these kind of situations? So I have listed out a few things here which you can probably consider doing it. So I'll just read out one or two of them which are quite relatable to everybody. So you can look at five real tangible things around you that you can probably touch. They can be anything. They can be anything, because of course we really don't know in what kind of a situation, what kind of environment you would be in. So whatever the things are around you, you need to touch. This actually works in opening up your senses, because at that moment you're just concentrating on that one emotion. So this will open up the rest of your sense, which helps you to probably reduce that the amount of panic or anxiety which you're facing. Focusing on the five things, remind yourself of your surroundings, what surroundings you are currently. Make yourself aware, because when you are in that panic mode, sometimes you really lose contact with the environment. You really start to I would say you just lose sight sometimes. So at that moment of time, you need to remind yourself of your surroundings. After that, once your mind is aware of where it is and it is safe, then you can practice the deep breathing part which we just talked about. You can try to count your breaths, or you can start counting it, you can start doing it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or you can just count it as many times as you can till you come to the point that you are a bit calmer than the stage from where you started. And after that, positive affirmations always help once you are calm. And also picturing a happy memory or a thought. So there is not much of a difference between these two, but it will depend upon situation to situation and what the intensity is of that situation, to actually work upon yourself and reduce that intensity. So these are the only main things from this slide.